Welcome to the Total Boss Podcast, and I'm your host, Christiano Green, a podcast where we talk about finding fulfillment through self-development, being a leader of your own life, and getting the most out of it as well. Tenacity, originality, talent, authenticity, and being legendary. It's all about living your best life. Hello, all you total bosses out there, and welcome to another episode of the Total Boss Podcast. Now, I am your host, Christiano Green, and I am a gay men's relationship coach, helping gay men to create and attract long-term love into their life. Now, this week on the podcast, I really want to jump in and talk about a topic that, triggers a lot of gay men when that relates to cheating. Now, what is cheating? What boundaries do people set in place? How common is cheating? It's all the topics that we're going to talk about. What are the different types of cheating and what are the most common ways that people cheat on it? Because, I know that from my experience talking to so many gay men, a lot of gay men have a really narrow perception of what cheating is. Now, I asked a question on my Facebook page maybe about a week ago, and I said, what would you do if your partner cheated on you? And a lot of the responses were quite full on. So I had, I'm just going to go through some of them. So we have, one of them was super glue his cock to his right thigh. Now, I'm sure this person was being a little bit serious, but if not, then, a bit intense. We've got another one that says, going through that now, I have recently found out my husband has cheated and is cheating on me. 6 men have messaged me and told me about my husband. He says it's all lies. It's not true, but I found my husband on a gay dating app, confronted him, and he said his ex has made the profile up and he never made the profile. But my husband always goes through my phone and text messages to see if I'm cheating. I have nothing to hide anyway because I've never cheated. It did get very physical 4 weeks ago and police were called. He wouldn't stop choking me on the bed because I wanted to leave him and I was covered in bruises. Again, these things happen to people, right? We've got people who say they're going to leave him. Another person says cheating patterns are trauma responses. If my partner truly wants to work on that, I can hold space for them to explore their trauma with the help of a professional, because that's what relationships are for. It actually happened to me once, and in the long run, it made our relationship much stronger than anything I'd experienced. Someone else says, I'm an open guy. I wouldn't classify it as cheating. Again, because a lot of people just see sex as the only thing that people do to cheating, right? Lots of people said, leave him. Again, someone here smart enough said, depends on what constitutes cheating within the relationship, right? So some people are aware of it, right? Someone wrote, I broke up with his stupid butt. Someone says, walk out the door. You deserve someone better. It's his loss, not yours. Lots of people talk about leaving him, and their experience of being cheated. So a lot of people have been cheated on. And when we talk about the statistics, it makes sense, right? Because, I looking at some statistics at the moment, and it says that about 58% of gay men have been cheated on by their same-sex partner, right? And 52% admit to cheating themselves. Now, when it comes down to it, 45% actually said that they believed their other half never knew that they played away. So 45% have said they've done it and and never got caught or never experienced it, right? It's never happened. So it happens to people behind people's backs so much. It's so common. And that's just the sexual way of cheating. This is what we're talking about, having sex outside of your relationship when you haven't defined those boundaries as being okay. Now, the alarming thing is that 17% of gay men have got HIV or an STI from someone who was not their partner, right? And a lot of those people give them to their partners, right? 61% of these men did not inform their partner of that news. So people are going outside the relationship and bringing back 70% of them bringing back some sort of HIV, STI, and 61% of those people aren't telling their partners of what's really going on. So really, when it comes down to it, there is a huge issue of gay men not being able to talk to one another about what they want sexually. So this is one level of it. So when we talk about sexual cheating, the physical cheating, because there are four kinds of cheating. Let's jump into that right now. Let's jump into that, and we can go further into it. So the first major kind of cheating, which everyone really talks about, is the physical cheating. Now, this is obviously sex. This is kissing. This is doing stuff physical with another person that goes against the boundaries of what you kind of have set within your relationship. Now, a lot of gay men struggle with, monogamy, polygamy, that kind of a step. Do we have an open relationship? What is it, right? Because sex for men can be, a little more needy than it is for women, right? It's something that maybe they want to have. It's more exciting to do with different people, etc., etc. So having those boundaries set, it's a problem because a lot of people don't set the boundaries. Maybe they're afraid to have the conversation. Maybe they're afraid of what their partner would say. Maybe they're afraid that the partner would leave them just by having these conversations. So instead of having the conversations, they go out and cheat, or they have, like I said, do things behind the back. So they either cheat and tell their partner, maybe they've got some guilt there, or maybe, like I said, with some of these people, the guys have told the partner, right? Because that's what happens. People talk. If you find out, you might tell someone. If you have a problem with that person, then shit gets out, right? So these things happen. But again, there's a lot of people who have cheated that have said that the partner has never found out, right? So it's all about knowing yourself. What are you comfortable with? And that's why it's important to have the conversation with your partner. So there we go. Type of cheating number one is just that physical cheating there. Actual sex, kissing, all those intimate things. The second kind of cheating is an emotional cheating. So this is where you're probably having some sort of a deeper connection with someone. Maybe you're doing things that you're getting close to someone on an intimate level. You're sharing more of the details with them. You're probably having an emotional affair with someone, right? To a level of, where, you're crossing the boundaries of, is this a friendship to, is this more than a friendship, right? There's a real close emotional bond that you have with someone, which, if you've been in a relationship in the past, you know what the difference between a friendship is and an actual deeper emotional connection you would have with a partner. So maybe that's the level that you're getting to. That's also cheating. Now, on this level, some people would say that the emotional cheating is actually far worse than the physical cheating, right? Some would be the opposite. They would say the physical is far worse than the emotional. And this is where we have to understand ourselves, understand our relationship, and be open to talk about it. Because for me, on my end, having an emotional affair means that it could lead to someone being more likely to leave someone than it is in a sexual affair, right? So if someone's having emotional connection, it means that you're emotionally not connected to your partner. They're probably trying to meet their needs there in a different way. So it's about understanding the needs of each person in the relationship and what's not being met and why they can't communicate to each other about it, because this is where the cheating occurs. The lack of communication, the lack of trust, the lack of vulnerability within the relationship, right? This is where the problems lie. So when we grow up in a very heterosexual society, where cheating is enough to end relationships and long-standing marriages because that's what society has told us to do, it's not shocking to find that these standards are also put on gay men. Whereas in reality, probably a lot of the time, people let things slide a lot more in the gay community because maybe, both sides are doing it or have thought about it, or, maybe it's harder to find a partner and you don't want to let things go because of sex, right? And that's where we're talking about sex, right? But, it's all about setting the boundaries and having the discussions and talking about these things in your relationship. So that's the second one, is the emotional one. The third one is the online cheating. So this is really about, having, a lot of that emotional connection with someone, but online. So maybe it's sending flirty messages to someone on, on Twitter or on Instagram. Maybe it's having a online dating profile where you're still looking at options, right? You're still out there looking at what's on offer, right? And you're maybe having some sort of a connection. So online cheating is to do with, social media, crossing boundaries that probably your partner's not going to like. Maybe you yet to talk about them, but you're doing it, right? Maybe you're on OnlyFans, right? You're watching porn on OnlyFans and you're chatting to the guys and asking for more of these videos, right? These kinds of things could be seen as cheating online, right? Because again, things are happening. You're getting different needs met outside of your relationship, and maybe you're not being open about it, right? This is the thing. If this is something that you would be ashamed to say to your partner, or you'd be afraid to say to your partner, it's probably likely got to do with something to do with, maybe you're cheating on them in some way, right? So there's that level of it. And then finally, the fourth level of cheating is micro cheating. So these are all the behaviors that you're doing that, if your partner found out about them, they'd be very upset or annoyed with you because maybe you know that this is something that they don't like or you don't agree with, and you've had the discussion in the past about it, or maybe not, but you just know that if I did these things, he'd be annoyed with that. And I'll give you some examples in just a moment, because we are going to jump in and discuss what are the most common types of, the most common types of cheating, right? What are the 10 most common ways that people do cheat? So obviously, we all know number one is cheating sexually. So this is one of the most common types of cheating in any relationship. It entails the sexual intimacy with somebody that isn't your partner. It's being unfaithful to your partner and is a breach of your exclusivity, if that's what you have, right? Being sexually intimate with a person, not your partner, is the most obvious sign of cheating. In most cases, this is the one that people would use to lead to a breakup, right? So that's number one. Number two is probably, again, not so uncommon, the online affair. So this is an online affair is one form of cheating. It's a relationship with intimate and sexual undertones that thrives online through text calls and video calls. The parties may have never ever met in person. You don't know them apart from the basic information such as age, profession, physical appearances from what you've shared, right? The parties involved in an internet affair may, like I said, never meet, but the connection can affect obviously your committed relationship that you have. So an online affair can evoke feelings of jealousy and anger in a partner, right? And it is regarded as betrayal and can break trust that you have within your relationship. That's number two. So number three is financial infidelity. Now, this is one of the micro cheatings that we were talking about. This cheating occurs when a partner doesn't come clean about their spendings or savings. For example, they could be going over the monthly budget to purchase, things for someone else, right? As a result, will hide the financial statement from partners, right? Another reason for lying about finances can include gambling problems, substance abuse problems, even compulsive shopping, right? This, entails keeping those secrets from your partner, which is then breaking their trust in you. A cheating partner will spend the savings and even put you in debt. And in worst part is that they will hide it from you as well. So that's number three, right? That's the most common. Number four is the emotional cheating. So this involves, like I said, being emotionally attached to someone else other than your partner. And this type of cheating is usually easily forgiven because it doesn't include the physical intimacy. But it obviously can also ruin a relationship. When you're emotionally involved with somebody, that person takes the role of your confidant, leaving your partner in the backseat of the relationship. Emotional cheating examples involve always confiding in someone other than your partner. So this, of course, amounts to cheating and can make your partner feel left out in the relationship as well. The fifth one is fantasizing about someone else. Now, it is normal to occasionally and briefly fantasize about a person you find attractive, but letting your mind wander and dream of acts that can lead to action can be considered cheating. So spending hours daydreaming of somebody you find attractive will push you to act on it. Also, fantasizing will lead to dishonest and immoral acts or can take your mind off your relationship. You're really fantasizing about something that isn't real and comparing reality to a dream. So, for example, fantasizing about your doctor will lead you to multiple trips to the hospital and lying about your location to your husband. That's cheating because you're lying again, right? Six is a physical affair without sex. So many people ask, is kissing cheating when in a relationship? Just kissing someone who isn't your partner can be regarded as cheating, right? So you can't escape the consequences of your action by saying we only kissed, we didn't have sex. Participating in any activities like foreplay or kissing someone other than your partner can still be considered cheating. Obviously, you set your boundaries, so you set what's right and wrong and what you can do, right? But the fact that sex wasn't involved doesn't make it less hurtful for someone else, right? So really got to think about that. Next one is a 7, is having romantic feelings for someone else. Having feelings for someone other than your partner can really be considered cheating if such feelings are acted upon. And this can be done by devoting your time to them and spending your savings to buy people gifts, right? It's hard to control your feelings, but on the other hand, you have power over your actions. So seeing this person you like behind your partner's back, being secretive about that relationship you have with them, that's really regarded as cheating as well. So, it's not, you shouldn't feel guilty having feelings for someone else, as long as you can control it and you can really get over it, right? But, acting upon them is really the hard part. So you've got to really think about that, right? Next one here is number 8, is pouring your time and attention into a hobby. You can cheat on your partner with a hobby or interest. Devoting your attention and time to a hobby instead of your partner can constitute cheating. So instead of spending time with your partner, you make an effort to just play video games, to engage in physical activities, or spend the weekend working. So this is you trying to avoid your relationship because maybe there's something going on. It's a form of cheating. This is the micro cheatings that we're talking about. So it's obviously, in general, hobbies aren't wrong. Playing video games aren't wrong. Working on the weekend wrong. But if you're doing it on purpose to avoid times, this is probably likely that there's a rift within your relationship and you're using these things as a way to avoid really the relationship, and there's a problem, right? Next one is all acts of micro cheating. So this type of cheating involves developing inappropriate intimate connections outside your relationship. So it might be the idea of, finding out what your ex is doing on social media, but not actually actively messaging them, right? It could be, like I said, having the online profile on a dating app, but you're not necessarily going to do anything about it. You're just trying to check out what people are doing, right? So these are the subtle forms of micro cheating. And then number 10 is the commemorative fidelity. So this type of cheating happens when a person is fallen out of love and has no feelings for their partner, but you're remaining in the relationship because of the obligation. And these people justify cheating by arguing that their relationship has fallen apart and that it is not wrong for to search for love outside. So it's your relationship's already over, probably on both sides. You haven't yet to make the call and you're doing the things out of it. So people class this as a different type of cheating, even though it is. So understanding all these types of cheating, going back to the question of, what would you do if your partner cheated on you? You've got to understand that in reality, we as gay men, we as a relationship should be communicating. We should be setting our boundaries so that we know what is okay and what's not to it. Like if you're someone who wants to have an open relationship, discuss with your partner why it means something to you. Talk to them about, is this going to be okay with them, and set those clearly so that you don't have to go behind the back, right? Maybe these are things you can do together, but also maybe these are some things that you can do separately, and make time for it so that you also have the trust and the honesty within your relationship. If you're wanting to just sleep with other people, maybe you being in a relationship isn't right for you at this point. Maybe you need to do something, and being single is more important because maybe there's other things that you want to work on in your life. Like not everyone desires to be in a relationship permanently, right? So think about what's right for you and don't just utilize people around you as toys in your game, because it's not right on both sides of it. You probably might have been played or you might be the player. Who knows, right? So you've got to really think about, how do I become honest? How do I communicate better, and how do we set boundaries of what's right and wrong so we know where to play? So these are the things you want to think about for it. Again, I've heard a lot of you guys reach out to me and share your story of cheating and what's been happening. Feel free to reach out to me on social media and continue sharing your stories with me. Ask me any questions about it. Obviously, I'm quite knowledgeable about this as well. And like I said, it's important for you to have those open discussions. So if you're struggling to do that, reach out. Like I said, I am a relationship coach. I help both, single people find love, but also help people who are in their relationship and maybe it's not a great place and they just want someone to help them improve their relationship. So that's what I also do as well. Again, this is where I'm at. Feel free to share with me questions and your stories. And I'll be back next week with a brand new episode. So always remember, you've got this and I've got you. Bye for now.